Among the many, many things I have learned about in the last 2 years is the meaning and the purpose of a mezuzah. A scroll that hangs enshrined in a tiny decorative vessel upon the doorway. The prayer inside is the essential Shema, a mind-blowing koan for our oneness. We touch the mezuzah and kiss our fingers when passing in and out of the home. Some believe it protects the home and its inhabitants, and some believe that we touch the mezuzah to remember that each doorway is sacred and that we have a responsibility to walk with humility and grace. On the back side of the scroll is written Shaddai. Shaddai is a less used name for God that relates to the word for breast and expresses that which is enough. So there has been created a tool and a ritual for remembering the wholeness and completeness of each moment and every threshold. The mezuzah is placed on a subtle tilt, leaning in towards the doorway. The lean is the result of a debate and eventual compromise among Talmudic scholars, thereby taking that symbolism into itself as well. So we can remember to compromise and respect for each other's ideas also, if we choose. We cannot choose what challenges or obstacles will occur on our path, but sometimes we are asked to choose whether we will close a door or open one. When Brian and I told our mothers that we had chosen each other for life, these women that were our Shaddai for the first years of our lives were beside themselves with joy. Our fathers, brothers, and friends also celebrated our union and all felt right with the world. Until it was time to tell Brian's traditionalist and very religious grandfather in New York, who is a kind and generous man if you're not threatening the fabric of his legacy. Within days, the three of us, Brian, myself, and Grandpa Cy, were together in his parlor, exploding into a modern-day scene from Fiddler on the Roof. Tears, threats, and declarations being thrown like water balloons, and things were not looking good. That night, we all slept little and prayed a lot, and Brian and I prayed how we do, without convention or restriction, just opening our hearts as wide as they can stand and listening there in the quiet hours of discomfort. Someone was challenging us and saying that identity is more important than soul. Our first reaction was to fly away into the dreams of a better world, to rebel against segregation by separating ourselves. The next day, much to our surprise, felt brighter and more calm. We had arrived at the ancestors' home, wanting history to forget itself, magically blocked out by the brilliant light of true love. It hadn't yet occurred to us that instead of erasing the past, perhaps it was us that needed to take the time to remember. There we were, compassionate enough to lean in, human enough to open a door. Slowly, slowly, the learning journey began. First, I learned that once you're Jewish, everything you do is inherently Jewish, and there's no right or wrong way to be Jewish once you are. Pretty inclusive for a group that's so hard to join. Then I learned that a rabbi will most likely answer a question with another question, and there's no one authority. This means discussions and opinions are not dictated, but rather discussed by ever-inquisitive minds. Now this was starting to get interesting. The challenge was finding the right teacher to lead us through the convergence process. This had to absolutely be our teacher, someone who understood, lived, and translated this vast and complex tradition with equal parts sincerity and allowing. I say converge instead of convert because that is the more appropriate word. I am not changing who I am or what I believe in. I am taking the time to listen, experience, ponder, and discover what a Jewish life is for me. Brian and I are discovering together, and this journey has turned the 2 years of our engagement into a graduate course and a rites of passage. We did find our teacher and our community in Berkeley, California at Chokhmat Halev, Wisdom of the Heart. I had no idea when I said yes to Brian that I would have the opportunity, and we would have the opportunity, if not the obligation, to thoughtfully review all of the major aspects of creating family together as we move towards our wedding day. I didn't comprehend that we would be braiding our ideals around this tree of life as we learn together what it means for us to build a home with a strong foundation and an evolving soul. I didn't know then about the warmth of Shabbat, the spiritual cleansing of Rosh Hashanah, the humble beauty of Yom Kippur, the laughter during Pesach Seder, the abundance of Sukkot, or the poetry of the mezuzah, leading in to remind us there is enough here for everyone. Thank you.